Good morning, YouTubes. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. My name is Josh, also known as Harry Tornado, and you're watching the Joshes of Reselling morning show. I'm here with my good friend, Lot of Josh, hidden behind that beautiful, beautiful mustache that he was gifted.
Yep, I
And
took your feedback into consideration. Finally grew out a stash.
yeah, he's been getting a lot of hate from you guys over the last couple months about his inability to grow facial hair. So he has graciously been gifted this by, you said it was Gorgeous.
Yeah, Gorgeous sent it to me, so thank you, Gorgeous. I saw her in the chat earlier, so it's not as funny without Suburban Beard here anymore.
Nothing's as anything without Suburban Beard here.
Yeah.
All right. Thrifty Esme says, no, don't sell out to the beard lovers. Nothing really does take up a lot of your face.
It does. I can like barely see. There's like little, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but they're just like little baby hairs sticking up, covering my eyesight. It's like right over my glasses. I can barely see anything right now.
Baby hairs.
See, this is why I don't grow out facial hair. It just messes with everything.
Yep. It's a responsibility, man. Looks like Florida Flipper just sent his first super chat of the day.
He actually put out a really good video last night. He went to go visit Rally Roots, their little like warehouse sale.
Yeah,
their moving sale before they go to their new place. And I don't know, Ryan and Allie and Callie are just like super cool people.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. They're
all right. I'm taking this off.
Itchy. So Dalton, Florida Flipper, thanks so much. He says, Win-Free Wednesday. please don't do it. I mean, I'm saying please don't do that again, what you did yesterday, but it would be cool, I guess. Any super chat, Dalton, any super chats you send me today, I will put towards your purchase of those pillowcases that you want. Shout out to Cajun Roots Reseller in the chat. He was the first one here, and he was here early. He was here like an hour and a half ago. His name's Johnny. He's just started a reselling channel. He's got some good content, and I'm excited to see what he puts out in the future. The Grumpy Thrifters, Emily Conway, Alexis KIT Enterprises, Florida Flipper, of course, Simply Dana, One Thread at a Time, Art Vandalay 219, Gorgeous, Christina Stevens, and Jay Meza. Good morning, everyone. I don't want to spend too much time to shout people out, but thank you guys for showing up early and showing up at all. We appreciate it. So the title of the show today is How to Transition from Part-Time to Full-Time. I will like to start off with the fact that we're not professionals about this. We've only been full-time reselling for like about 2.5 months or 3 months or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think we have an interesting way about it. Like Josh kind of planned it out for several months. He was planning on leaving the military. He kind of had a lot of time to get his ducks in the row, whereas I was just randomly laid off from my job, and I had to just, in a day's notice, pretty much decide what I wanted to do. So I figured we could talk about maybe some of the plans that you went through, Josh, and how to prepare for that, and some of the things that I found difficult going straight into it full force.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you guys let us know in the chat if you are full-time or a part-time reseller, or if you're not a reseller at all. I know there's a few of you out there that watch the show that aren't resellers, but I'm just curious to see, who's part-time that wants to go full-time, or who's full-time that maybe wants to cut back to part-time. I don't know too many people that want to do that, but just
yeah. So I was in the military for about 5 years. So that's like about 5 years with a stable income. I think about like year 2 or 3, that's like, I was on the fence for the most part about staying in or staying out. But about the 2-3 year mark, I was leaning towards more getting out. So I was already like looking at options like grad school potentially, jobs in the corporate world. And a lot of what I was going off of was a lot of my, I guess, like senior friends, like people who were like 2 or 3 years ahead of me, and they've already made the transition. And I think pretty much everyone I know went a very standard route. They either went to grad school, got their MBA, and then got a corporate job afterwards, or they just applied for a corporate job right out of the military. And that's pretty much I can't think of anyone that didn't go that traditional route. So that's like really what I was preparing for. I created a very in-depth LinkedIn profile. I started networking. I started working with headhunters like 2 years out already, because they have these like extended programs just to like prepare you to get out of the military.
Mhm.
So I was working with like several headhunter companies trying to get ready for that. Um, about a year and a half out from transitioning out of the military is when I started reselling. That's kind of like when I got obsessed with this. I mentioned this a few times, the whole financial independence, retire early, the whole FIRE movement. That's kind of like popular on the internet. So I discovered that, stumbled on that, and I almost became obsessed with it. I was like, okay, like one of the biggest appeals of the military is it's like the easiest way to achieve FIRE. You serve for 20 years. Most people, they come in like straight out of high school. So if you do 20 years and get out like 38, 39, you can retire with a pension, which is a huge appeal. I don't know, think like the military takes like a certain type of personality, and it just wasn't for me. So with that in mind, I was like, okay, I'm throwing away an early retirement and that pension. So I got really obsessed with setting myself up for early retirement outside of the military. So I was like looking at side hustles, and I just stumbled on reselling and just doing it part time. I didn't even think about doing it full time. I didn't even think it was possible. But just because of YouTube, I found a bunch of full time resellers kind of just documenting their business. And I was like, wow, this is a possibility. So I I I was still kind of weary the whole time until I'd say like 6 months out of getting out. That's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this full time. Like I I don't want to work for anyone else. Like I I'm gonna make this work. So that's kind of what I did. The biggest thing as I was getting ready is I had to figure out how much money I was actually gonna make and how much money I needed at a minimum to pay all my bills. Doing this part time, I kept track of like cost of goods, how much money I was making on each individual sale, but like actual net profit, like how much money can I use? Like how much money do I need to set aside to reinvest in like new inventory? And how much is like reliable income that I can use to pay the bills? And I am married, so um, a lot of people as they're transitioning from part-time to full-time, they worry about like health insurance, stuff like that. The military had really good benefits. And doing only 5 years active duty, I get like partial benefits, but I don't get like the full package. So that was kind of a concern. Luckily, my wife's job does have like a really good benefits package as well. So for that, I was able to kind of just like hop onto what her company offered. So I wasn't too worried about that. And I guess it's like I guess like having a wife is kind of like having a roommate. You can split all the bills and stuff. So my biggest concern to taking that initial leap is, can I make enough money to pay for 50% of the bills and then add a like a small amount to our future savings account. So I was able to do that like 2 months out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And I wasn't worried about like becoming a millionaire. Like this business is gonna grow over time as long as we can survive, pay the bills, and still add a little bit to savings. I was pretty comfortable taking this leap.
Yeah, it's that's quite the story.
Yeah, it was kind of long-winded. Kind of long-winded.
No, you're fine, man. It's and there's a lot that goes into it. Like it's a
Yeah.
big deal, like going, from part-time to full-time, whether you plan it or not. I was kind of in the, I mean, I feel like we're very similar, like I said yesterday, in our reselling business and our families and stuff. Like I'm the same way. Like I went through it. Florida Flipper just sent another $10 super chat. Thanks, man. Dalton, awesome. Go subscribe, man. So yeah, like I'm very open with my finances. I've talked about in the past where like I think as a culture, we're like, never tell anybody how much money you make, never talk about your financial troubles, whatever. And I think that's how people get in so much financial trouble, because when things start to go downhill, they're embarrassed to admit it, or they just keep everything to themselves. Even people who are married, I'm not, it's just my opinion, but I think, if you're married, you should have everything joined together. Like joint bank accounts. I've seen, like I used to be a financial coach, and we've coached people that were married for 20 years, but they have separate bank accounts. And that just, it just created more problems than anything else in their marriage generally. So my wife and I have joint bank accounts. At my old job, they took out my insurance and taxes and everything, and I was making about $1,100 every 2 weeks. So now with reselling, like there are some weeks and some like 2 week periods when I make that, but not every 2 week period. And there's some 2 week periods where I make more than that. But again, that doesn't include taxes. So, right now I'm probably right now, because of Q4, I'm making a little bit more than I was making. But overall, like since I started, it's probably been a little bit of a decrease, especially because my wife is still on her mom's health insurance because she's under 26. So I didn't have the ability to join her work version. So I'm just buying mine straight from healthcare.gov, which is like $220 a month or so. So there's a lot that goes into it. I think the financial aspect of it is tough, because even feeling like a successful reseller, like Black Friday weekend, I sold 45 items, but I'm still making like profit on my reselling business is probably like $2,000 to $2,500 a month before taxes. And that's including I'll take out stuff to like reinvest. And I'm just including I generally transfer between $1,000 to $1,200 from my reselling business into my personal bank account, every 2 weeks. So, and then I pay taxes on that. So it's, like you said, we're not going to be millionaires. I mean, maybe one day if you save and invest correctly, but, all these people that put their YouTube ads and stuff like that, where I made $10 million this year.
And you can too.
That's not what I want to do. I don't want to make $10 million a year. If I can make, $50,000 to $70,000 a year before taxes, just reselling by myself, I will be snug as a bug in a rug. That's comfortable for me. It also differs. Like I live in South Carolina. The cost of living here is very low. Like my mortgage is like $830 a month or so. We've only got one car payment. It's like $220 a month. So it's not that expensive to live here. But if you want to be a full-time reseller in New York or Los Angeles or San Diego or something, I think that would be very difficult for you, because, rent is $3,000 a month, so there's a lot that goes into it. Looks like Alexis KT Enterprises sent us something. Let me see what this is. It's a super sticker, but I just don't know how much. $4.99 super sticker, pair, blowing. Thank you, Alexis. I appreciate that. Emily Conway sent $4.99. Just doing a thing for my mom. She needs some help, no pressure at all, and needs some dollar for next wholesale. I'll link her PayPal if you want to donate. Her mom's going through a tough time right now, and I think we've all been through tough times in our life. So I helped her mom out yesterday, not for the recognition, but just because I've been there. I think a lot of us have been in tight times in our life. So again, no pressure, but yeah. And Amber Resell sent $2 super chat. Love the realness and openness, Harry Tornado. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in lying. It's just, I don't know. I feel like my videos don't get as many views as other people's videos, but my videos are as real as it gets. I try to keep everything I talk about, everything I do, open and transparent. And a lot of times that doesn't generate a lot of interest with people. People like the exciting and the huge, I bought $1 million storage unit. Oh my God. Like people like that, but I don't buy storage units. I buy $4 worth of stuff at the bins and sell it for 75, So yeah, transparency is something that a lot of Josh and I both, I think, have touched on and value in our business and our YouTube channels. Let me see.
Another thing to add on to, just like there's the whole financial aspect, but another big part for me was really the mental aspect. Um, I just wasn't in a good place mentally, I think, when I was in the military. I think the first like 2 years I was like hyper motivated, like over the top motivated about being in the military. I mean, I went to a military college, West Point, and the entire 4 years of going to a military college is hyping you up to join the military. So graduating West Point, I was like I grew up in New Jersey, and living in the South for about 5 years, like there's definitely a huge cultural difference between the North and the South, especially the Northeast and the South in terms of like patriotism. It's just a completely different level in the South. A lot of people like growing up, like we didn't even like we'd say like the Pledge of Allegiance in elementary school, but outside of that, like no one really talked about the military. No one really. It wasn't just like no one bled red, white, and blue. I feel like people actually bleed red, white, and blue in the South. Like they will do anything for America. Like it's just like a completely different level. So um, I think West Point kind of like put that in me. So like the first 2 years in the military, I was like all about that. But it's just like over time, it just really burns you out. Um, it's sometimes you're just like away from home for like 2 3 months at a time. Um, I was just like in the middle of nowhere, like Fort Polk, Louisiana, for like 2 3 months for a training event, and I mean, it was just like miserable, like literally in the middle of nowhere, no cell phone, just kind of just like dragging your feet every single day. So they like extended periods of time like that really got to me. I think being away from family. I mean, family is like a huge part for me. Um, I did talk about this a little bit in a few videos ago, but like when my dad got sick, that was like extremely hard for me to be away from family. I went to go see him like as much as I could, but as soon as I like burned through all of my vacation days, like I was like really in a bad spot mentally. So um, I think just going through that whole thing with my dad, like I really put a huge priority on my family. Like I wanted to be like location wise, like geographically, I almost like needed to be like close to my mom and my family. So that was like a huge factor of me getting out of the military, and just like my mental health. Like I want to do something that I enjoy, even if it doesn't make me $1 million. Like if I'm enjoying every single day of my life, like my dad passed away when he was 55 and I'm 27 right now. So I might be halfway through my life. Like you just never know what's gonna happen. Like if you're living for the future and just like making today miserable, it's just I mean you just don't know what life's gonna throw at you. So my like mentality kind of shifted. Like I want to enjoy the present. The future is important, and you do have to set yourself up for success. But if you're not enjoying today, it's just I don't know. It's just hard to live like that, I think.
Yeah, it's it's when I go to the PO box to check for my postcards and stuff that you guys send. I pass by my old office, and it's in like an area of town that there's a lot of offices. There's like during lunchtime, there's people walking walking to lunch, and they're dressed in their ties and stuff like that. Um, and it's sad, because even people that like their job, it's still a job. Like how many people like truly think it's fun to be an insurance agent? Like, ooh, I get to go talk about deductibles and co-insurance. Like you might enjoy your job. Like I thought my job was enjoyable. Like it was a job, but I didn't hate it. I didn't mind it. But now that I'm like cut free from that and I'm like living this life, and really we haven't had to cut back our lifestyle at all. Like we're not struggling, and I'm having so much more fun.
Yeah.
And it's just sad that so many people are like afraid to take that next step. And I'm not saying go quit your job. Not everybody can quit their job. It takes a lot of know-how and a lot of the build up to start full-time reselling or to start anything on your own. But I'm really glad I was laid off, because if I wasn't laid off, I'd probably still be working that decent job, and I'd probably be at 150 active listings, making $1,000 a month, in gross sales. I wouldn't be doing as many YouTube videos. We wouldn't have started the show. So everything happens for a reason. And I'm just, we're figuring out as we go. And
for sure.
I think one of the important things that I've found, and I'm reading the chat, guys. We're talking about this, and I feel like it's important, but I'm gonna go back and try to look for any questions or anything. But one of the important things, I think, if you are married and you start your own business and you're having fun, you're successful. If your spouse is still working one of those jobs, like my beautiful wife is still working her job, she doesn't mind it. It's not her dream job, but she goes in, she enjoys it. She does really good work. She's been promoted twice. But I don't want to like push it in her face, that, oh, I get to do my dream job. I just get to go to Goodwill every day and make YouTube videos and so you have to be conscious of that. So like I'll make sure to like try to clean up the house like during the day, even though I'm like working all day. I'll try to make some time to clean up the dishes or do a load of laundry or something. She'll say that I don't do that enough. I hate laundry. It's the worst. But I'm trying to be conscious of that because I'm super appreciative of her and the fact that she allowed me to do this because it really takes a lot of faith in a spouse to allow their spouse to go out on a limb and try something like this where you don't really know what's going to happen. So she's been awesome. You talk about how supportive your wife is all the time.
Yeah.
So just don't get so caught up in the success of your own business that you forget about your spouse or your family. Like be sure to show how grateful and thankful you are for them. And even though I'm working at home, I'm not constantly working all day long. I have time to unload the dishwasher. I have time to walk the dog, so just as a full-time reseller, I love it. I think about it from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, but you got to make some time in there to show appreciation where appreciation is due.
Yeah, that's huge. As much as our spouses are supporting us, we have to support them too.
Yeah. It's just like it comes with the territory. Like if I get to stay home and do my dream job while my wife works, the least I can do is unload the dishwasher, like it's not that big a deal. And a couple people were like disagreeing in the chat about like combining your bank accounts. It's totally optional. Like I was a financial coach, so I think I know what I'm talking about, but not everybody has that, and it works for some people. But generally I've found that in the majority of people that have come to me for financial advice, having separate bank accounts creates more problems than it creates solutions. It's kind of like, some people are like, oh, I think Jarhead said like his money is for fun stuff and his wife's money for bills. That might work for them. It's not the same for everybody, but generally when spouses have financial problems, it's because they have separate bank accounts and there's some sort of lack of communication there.
Yeah. We do a joint account too, and it just makes life easier, at least for us. And I mean, this whole thing, like everyone's situation is different. Like we're not telling everyone to go out and quit their 9 to 5. If you have a job, a stable income with good benefits that you enjoy, that's like a really good situation to be in. And then doing reselling on the side for extra income, for play money to use for vacations. I know like Matt from Part-Time Pickers, he says in his videos, like the reason why he resells is so he does have that extra money for family fun time to go on vacations without, any financial burden. And I mean, he's just kind of one of those guys that loves his normal job too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to see everyone in the chat next week. It's like, hey, I quit my job.
I quit my job because you told me to.
Let's get it.
It also, like, I've seen a lot of people think that, so I'm doing reselling part-time, I'm doing 10 hours a week and I'm making $500 a week. So if I do 40 hours a week, I'm going to quadruple that and I'm going to make $2,000 a week. And it doesn't work that way. I went from maybe like 15 hours a week when I was part-time to now I'm probably doing like 50, like between YouTube and reselling. And I've probably, like, my average, I was looking at my bookkeeping thing the other day. And so like my average sales per month from like January to September were like $1,500 to $1,800 a month. And then from August, September, October, November, they were like 5,000 a month. But that also included a lot more sourcing. So I've probably increased my income by like, I don't know, 250%. So like 2.5 times, but I've increased my hours by 5, so it's not, there's not going to be that kind of correlation. I mean, it makes sense. Like if you work 20 hours a week, you make $1,000. You should work 40 hours a week and make $2,000, but it doesn't work that way. So don't think about that when you're thinking about quitting your job. It's not going to be that easy. You double your time put in and you maybe increase your profits by 40 to 50%.
Yeah, I think it's easy when you go full time too. I'm definitely working way more hours than when I was in the military. It's almost like from the time I wake up to, like Harry Tornado said, I'm thinking about it until I go to bed. And my mind is always, especially with my phone, I'm always like checking stuff, like whether that's like Instagram and YouTube. And I know it's not really work, but it still kind of is, because that's still part of this whole like social media aspect of my business. I will say, like, with that whole like social media aspect and YouTube, I think it's really important to still have hobbies or like other sources of income. I don't think I'd be able to do purely reselling from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I think I would just like lose my mind if I try to do reselling like 16 hours a day. It's just not something that's sustainable. Maybe like a week or two here and there, if you want to like give your business like a little boost, you can put in those like intense hours. But working like that just on one specific task, because I mean, in concept, reselling is pretty simple. You go out, source good items, you photograph, clean up the items, and you list them, ship, pack, whatever. Like conceptually, it's not a very complicated thing. You start scaling the business once you learn how to source better and stuff like that. And there are like little intricacies here, but overall, it's a very simple business model. And just doing that over and over, day in and day out for 16 hours a day, like I don't know if, I mean, some people might be able to, but I personally would not be able to sustain that kind of life.
Me neither. So especially listing, like I list, like if I can list 25 things a day, I'm like patting myself on the back. I'm like, Josh, you did great today. Like, good job, man. And my wife's like, you listed 25 things. Cause she like a couple months ago, she was just like really motivated and she listed 19 things on a Saturday, like photographed and listed by herself. And she's like, this is awesome. And then she kind of like got bored of it. But like, you were here all day and you only did 25. I'm like, that's really good. Let's see. Somebody asked if we have separate bank accounts for our business. Yes. Even if you're a very part-time reseller, if you sell anything at all, you should have a separate bank account for your business. I would recommend a PayPal debit card. Just set up a PayPal account and get a PayPal debit card associated with that account and use that as your business account. Jacob Wimberly says, love how happy you guys are. Yeah, man. If you're doing what you love, it's pretty easy to be happy. Also, something to think about, like with your hourly work, like if you're doing something you love and you're working, you can kind of lose track of your hours, but it's important not to work yourself to death for a little bit of money either. Like if you're working 90 hours a week and you love it, but you're making $300 a week, you probably need to reevaluate your business a little bit. Just make sure it's actually worth your time. Like, oh, I quit my full-time job and now I'm making the same amount of money, but you're working 170 hours a week. It's not worth it. So just make sure that at some point you kind of take a step back and look at your hourly rate that you're actually earning. Like, okay, I average, $130 a day in profit and I work 10 hours a day. So that's $13 an hour in profit. So is that worth it? Could you go get a job at Chick-fil-A making $13? And Chick-fil-A in my area hires people $13 an hour starting out. So it's like, you got to just look at it that way. Don't lose track of the actual time you're putting in.
Yeah. It's really easy to push yourself a little too hard too, because especially for reselling, there's no upper limit. The upper limit is entirely dependent on how many hours you put in. Like there's always something to do. I feel like I'm always behind on things to list. I always have a back stock of inventory. So there's always work to do. You're never completely done. And when I first officially transitioned into full-time reselling, I was like, there's like a small feeling of desperation to scale your business quickly. So I would like work all day, and I would eat dinner for it'd take me like 10-15 minutes to eat dinner, and then I'd come right back to my eBay room. And my wife and I, we had a talk, and she was like, hey, like you have to like spend some time with me. You can't just like ignore me, because I would work on like Saturdays and Sundays too.
Yeah.
Especially during garage sale season, I was gone all day, and then I'd come back and try to list everything that I found like garage sales like Saturday and Sunday. And we had a talk. She was just like, hey, like I'm still here, I'm still part of your life, like we have to do stuff on the weekends, like and we have to like eat dinner together. Like I don't know, we used to, after eating dinner, we'd watch like a few episodes on Netflix and stuff like that. So nowadays I'm like much better about that. I'm trying to follow like her work schedule, so when she's at work, I'm working, and when she comes back, I'm spending time with her. And I mean, obviously that slows down the growth of the business, but I have to constantly remind myself, like, I'm doing this reselling business for the foreseeable future. Like, I don't see myself, at least not right now. Like, I don't see myself doing anything else. So until I'm bedridden and I can't move a muscle, like, I'll probably be reselling. So I have to remember that this is like an extremely long-term thing, and it's okay to, just slowly build up your business. You don't have to do it like within like a week or two and like stress yourself out, and like you don't have to hold on to that burden of desperation to instantly grow your business.
The Florida Flipper sent another $2.99 super chat, and he also PayPal'd me $20.
Oh my gosh!
So
dude,
guys, go
Dalton
get this guy some love.
He's a
really
straight up baller.
Yeah, he's definitely a baller. So Dalton, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Let's see. Somebody said there's a good question here.
Dalton said, "Who's tax? Never met him before."
Yeah, Kim Cheese Grit said,
"That's why he has all this extra money."
Kim Cheese Grit said, "Make sure you're paying your taxes." I think a lot of people don't pay their taxes. I think if everybody just paid their taxes like what they were just supposed to pay, like I think our government would be fine. But a lot of people try to, skip out of it. Well, I didn't make $20,000 on eBay, so I don't have to pay taxes. You do have to pay taxes. Just eBay won't send you a report. Anyway, don't want to get into that. But somebody asked, I don't know where it was. It was like, do I think that my increase in income has been directly correlated to like sourcing and listing more? And the answer is absolutely yes. The only way to make more money on eBay is to list more. I source every weekday pretty much, like at least four weekdays. I go to garage sales on Saturdays with Haley. I don't really do anything on Sundays. Occasionally I'll list or maybe edit a video or something, but don't really do much on Sundays. But yeah, it's directly correlated with listing. When I was laid off, I was at like 140 active listings, and now I'm at 520. I posted my snapshot from eBay yesterday on my Instagram. I've had, in the last 60 days, I've had $13,449 in sales. I have 526 active listings right now, but I've sold 455 things in the last 60 days. So my sell-through rate is really high. So I'm like, constantly finding new stuff. Right now, I'm not sourcing clothes at the moment because I have a pretty big death ball to get through that. But I'm still sourcing every day, just only hard goods or only like really, really good clothes. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to list. I think like a lot of Josh, we've both talked about having at least a minimum of like 10 things a day on average. So like 60, 70 things a week, something like that. Yesterday I did better than that, but some days I don't do 10. So on average, about 10 things a day. So yes, that is the way to make extra money on YouTube, is list more.
On YouTube.
I mean, eBay. Yeah. I guess you could list more. You make more videos.
I've been growing too, though.
Yeah. When I was laid off, I think I was at like 1,800 subs, and I just hit 5,000 last 2 weeks ago or whatever. Yeah. So it's nice to like see such progress so quickly. It's frustrating that there's still people in my life that don't think it's a real job. They're like, "Oh, are you not applying for new jobs yet?" I'm like, "No, you do you not see what I've built? I can't be much
You
smarter.
obviously don't watch my videos.
Yeah. Nobody I know in real life watches my videos. Well, very few people.
Yeah.
Somebody just sent me a $5 super chat. Who was it? Real Talk Mentor, $5. I don't want to go to Josh's. I don't want to go to Josh's upset today, so I will just do one super chat. Oh, you don't want to get them? Yeah, we would be very upset if we got more super chats.
Yes.
So we'll get off topic here for 1 second. I want to bring up this idea to you guys and see what you guys think. So one of the reasons Suburban Beard has chosen left show is because he doesn't want to do lives on his channel because it hurts his analytics. So I had the idea to make just a channel for the Josh's Reselling Morning Show. We could do. I wouldn't be concerned about analytics, because it doesn't matter. It's not for that. It's just a platform to put this morning show every day, or Tuesday through Thursday. So obviously it would take time to get that channel monetized. We'd have to get to 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers. So I think the benefits would be Suburban Beard could come back. We could do as many lives as we wanted to. If we want to do a random working hangout one night that was like 3 hours long, we could do that because we wouldn't care about the analytics. And also you guys wouldn't have to figure out whose channel we're on. Someday, like people that watch the show for the first time and we say catch us tomorrow, and they go back to a lot of Josh's channel and they don't know that it's on my channel. So it would just be one channel for one show all the time. The only downside is that you couldn't like super chat monetize, we couldn't monetize the video for probably a month or two. But that's not really a big deal, whatever. You guys could still PayPal us directly if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something we're thinking about, again, just to get Suburban Beard back in the mix and make it a little bit easier for you guys. So
yeah, because we were talking about, since he did drop out yesterday morning, we were trying to figure out a live stream schedule for the show between the two of us, and between just the two of us, it gets awkward, I guess, because we were doing it 3 times a week, and there is the whole analytics side to it, which is kind of unfortunate, but it would probably hurt our channels if we try to do like 2 each live streams, something like this a week. Yeah, it just kind of like complicates it, I guess. Just putting it on one channel would make it easier. And I mean, we were talking about those working hangouts too. That would open up windows to do those like longer, like 3-4 hour streams.
Yeah,
of us just kind of hanging out. It wouldn't be as interactive. I have no idea how a working hangout would work actually. I've been on a few. I've never really figured out a good way to get a lot of work done while hosting a working hangout.
Yeah.
But if we were to kind of focus on work, I feel it would be more of just like background noise while you guys are working too. But it would open up an opportunity to do those working hangouts, which I think would be pretty cool.
Seek Joy says, I don't think Suburban Beard would do it either way. Like you said, that was only one of the reasons. I think he would. I think we've all gotten a lot of exposure from each other's channels by doing the show, and it's fun. Like he definitely enjoyed the show. I mean, he was trying to upload edited videos every day, and he was doing like 6 lives. He was doing our show 3 days a week. And I mean, I don't know, but
yeah. And I guess like starting that second channel, we wouldn't be, I'm not saying we won't be invested, but we wouldn't be as invested as like our own primary personal channels. So it'd be a lot more flexible. We'd be okay with, Suburban Beard coming in and out. If he was free that day, he can hop on. If he's not, then, it's cool.
No Problem says, why do all that just for one Josh? It's not just for Suburban Beard. It's, I want to do these shows more often, because right now I don't want to do a show tomorrow because I just did a live show today, and I have a reseller review show that I want to do tomorrow if possible. And so the last thing I want to do is do 2 lives in one day on my channel, because I mean, Suburban Beard had a point, like too many lives does bring your analytics down. The main point of this, the special channel just for the show, is that we wouldn't care about the analytics. We could do as many shows as we wanted. Even if it was just me and Josh, we could do Monday through Friday if we wanted, because it doesn't matter. So I think we might play around with it. We'll probably, if we do start a channel, we'll probably start it and just like you give a couple weeks for you guys to like subscribe and get a good base there, and then start switching over the show. We're not going to switch over the show immediately because I feel like some people might not, like if you didn't see this show, you wouldn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Another thing is if we did spam lives, especially like the Josh is a Reselling channel on our personal channels, I use the same thumbnail for every single live stream.
Yeah.
So when new people come and discover my channel, they're gonna go to my videos tab and see. I mean, I think a lot of people do this before they subscribe to a channel. They kind of want to see what the channel's about. And if they go to the video tab and they see like every other thumbnail is like our faces, I think that would kind of confuse them, to be completely honest. So that is kind of another factor. I guess that's kind of like very selfish reasons, but it's just kind of what we were talking about. It's just be like, it'd be too much for us to try to balance this live stream between two channels, between the two of us.
Yeah. Without one of us getting screwed over every week on analytics.
Yeah.
Because I feel like 2 shows a week isn't enough, you know, because I really like them.
Yeah. And John Brown is asking, how does live hurt analytics? Can you explain? So I think there's a different audience when it comes to pre-recorded videos and live shows. I think the audience that prefers pre-recorded videos is the far majority for now. I think there is kind of like a slow shift to people discovering live streams on YouTube and enjoying live streams. But I think right now, definitely the bulk of YouTube enjoys pre-record. I mean, that's kind of how YouTube started. It was all pre-recorded videos. So if you go back to our videos and you look at the view counts, for YouTube, the number of views is the most important. If you look back at the history of our videos, you'll see that our pre-recorded videos do way better in terms of views as opposed to our live streams. I think on average over time, like I think my live streams cap out at about 1,000 views, and my pre-recorded videos do much better. There are it's kind of like the eBay algorithm. Like no one really knows and understands the YouTube algorithm, but I think YouTube looks at your channel holistically. If YouTube is showing my live stream to people and they're not clicking on the thumbnail, they're not clicking on the video, that tells YouTube that that person is not interested in my channel. So they'll only recommend my thumbnails, my videos so many times to one single person before they stop recommending it, and they flood it with other channels to recommend. So if we're flooding it with live streams and YouTube picks that to show people and they're not clicking on the live stream thumbnail, then over time, I feel like YouTube would stop like suggesting our videos to potentially new subscribers. So I think that's one factor to how it could potentially hurt us if we like spam our channels with live streams. I think live streams are good, but trying to do it like 3-4 times a week could potentially hurt our channels.
Yeah, because and like for me, like these aren't the only live streams I do. Like I have reseller review, I have my Friday things, which I mean Fridays are just like a working hangout. So like if I have to cut one, I'm probably gonna cut that one because that's, you know, just kind of just whatever. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people, there's some people that go back and rewatch these, but like generally the live streams are the least viewed videos on our channels. You know, mine get like 900,000 views. So, you know, that counts like 133 people watching right now. Some people come in and out. Each one of those counts as a view, and maybe a couple hundred people watch after the fact. But pretty much after the first 3 days, like it's dead. But a pre-recorded video can generate views, you know, every day for months, you know. So I don't know. We will definitely keep you guys updated and let you know what we do.
Yeah. I mean, another option too is we could keep like the Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we could do more streams, like additional hangouts, morning shows on that second channel. And I think that would help promote that second channel initially.
Yeah, we could do that for like a month. You know, just like instead of like, you know, your channel, my channel, and Thursdays on the new channel for like a month, and then the next month we just go straight to the new channel. That's a good little layering, intertwining. Emily Conway said we could do 1 show, 2 show, or 47 shows, and she would be there for all of them.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I want to do.
If I don't see you, I'm gonna message you on Instagram. Like, hey, where are you?
Will Ingram said it never affected Bearded Pickers YouTube. I don't know the analytics of anybody else's YouTube channel but my own. But generally, I mean, like a lot of Josh was saying, YouTube's going to look at all of your videos and they're going to like see, okay, your videos have an average, view count of 6,000. That's awesome. But if you throw in live videos where it's like 400 or 500 views, that's going to drive your average view. Like YouTube takes averages of a lot of things, your average view count, your average view duration. So I think too many of them can hurt you. And also just doesn't look good. Like if you look at my channel, like all of the live streams just have our logo on there. So it just looks like little blemishes.
Yeah.
Oh, the Bee's Knees Mommy Grammy sent $2 super chat. The Reselling fan would still follow and support you. Almost missed that one. And that's Reseller Kings, $2. So you guys are still encouraging. Keep up the good work. Oh, yeah, I get those.
Yeah, Bearded Picker has a separate live channel. That is like another issue with starting a second channel that we kind of talk about. Like there's a whole there's the core audience, like you guys who show up every day. You guys would push over and come to that second channel, but it'd be slower to grow the show, I guess, if we do start that second channel. So there is that trade-off there. I don't know. There's just too much to think about. There's too much.
We're just done.
Why can't life just be simple?
No, I'm just kidding.
Why can't life just be simple?
Yeah, BK Vending Flipping says they don't watch the lives after the fact because they're longer and they can't interact. I think the ability to interact and drop comments is one of the main benefits of a live stream. So Springfield John says, can you put up these on iTunes as a podcast? A bunch of people have asked me that before, but the problem, if we save this video as an MP3, the audio probably wouldn't be that good. We both have good mics.
Yeah, I just feel would people listen to it in podcast form? I don't know. Yeah.
And it's like how many people would actually listen to it?
What's the demand? I guess we need to figure that out.
Okay, the chat just loaded here. Let me. We're just reading the chat silently to ourselves, just trying to get caught up.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, we're live.
Dumpster Diver Dad, he's a cool guy. He said, I watch the lives later because it's 6 a.m. in California.
Yeah, I do get I think the majority of people that comment on the replays are West Coast people. Yeah. At least that I know of. A lot of them are West Coast.
Dana Bloom says he could help us with podcast. I've used the Anchor app before. I haven't made any podcasts, but it's pretty simple to post it up there. It's just I feel like everybody probably 98% of people who want to hear our show just watch it on YouTube. So, is it worth more of our time just for that, the 4 or 5 people that want to listen to it on a podcast?
And my biggest concern is we do try to interact with the chat a lot. And I think a lot of times at the start, we say hi to a bunch of people. I don't know how that would be for the listener of a podcast if they're just listening to 10 minutes of us saying hi to people and stuff like that. So I guess we might have to post edit the audio and kind of just put segments where we're talking about certain subjects here and there. But that would be more work.
Yeah. The Bee's Knees monitor. I guess a second dedicated channel would grow fast. I think it would too. You guys are super supportive. I could start the channel right now and we'd probably have 124 subscribers immediately. So it's not in getting monetized isn't a big issue. We don't do these shows for the money. So I don't think it's that. I don't know. We literally just thought about this idea this morning. So we're just throwing it out there, getting you guys' input, and you guys give us ideas that we didn't think about,
Yeah. I feel like we're just kind of we're thinking out loud. and just seeing what sticks. Like a lot of what we do, especially like behind the scenes when we're talking in our little group chat. I feel like a lot of what we're saying is just stuff we're thinking about. We're just thinking out loud and using the messenger to vent and seeing how the other two react.
Yeah. Gorgeous says, I love these lives. I always get at least one new sub, one at a time. I don't mind. Yeah, you guys are one of my favorite thing about this little community of ours is that people are really supportive. Like everybody subscribes to everybody's channel. You guys like show up in the chat early and like have separate conversations, and it's awesome to see all of this secondary communication and friendship developments, kind of behind the scenes of this bigger show.
Jacob says, hey, I'm up. I'm West Coast California, dude. Dude, a lot of respect to the West Coast people that wake up early to join us.
Definitely.
Alexis KIT Enterprises says, I feel like if I don't do lives, then my channel won't grow. I think lives when you're initially starting is a really good way to kind of like build a core audience.
Yeah.
And lives are probably the best way to get your watch hour time.
Yeah, exactly.
That initial 4,000 hours it's a lot. It's a lot of hours for a new channel.
It is. It's super tough. But yeah, I think lives up until you get monetized is great, and then after that, that's when you start needing to be more conscientious of what you're putting out. Where is it? Dumpster Diver Dad says, I love the support too of my channel. He just started his channel very recently. He's one of my patrons, and he does like obviously dumpster diving stuff. And he's got some great finds. He did a video recently at like behind Burlington Coat Factory, pulled out a bunch of cool stuff. So if you guys like dumpster diving videos, go check out his channel, hit the little 3 buttons to the right, go to his channel and click subscribe. Sound like a radio ad. Go to his channel.
Reselling Addict says the chat goes so fast for me. Maybe I'm just old. No, it's not. It's not just you. I think we all struggle when you're hosting a live stream. It's just hard to keep up with the chat sometimes.
Just Nicole says, I think if you have 2 or 5 Joshes, I think it would be a good idea. I don't mind watching replays. I'm in Australia, so I don't normally see them live. I just put the chat on, so I feel like, I guess she included.
Like, yeah, feel like you're part of it. Yeah.
There's not that many reselling Joshes. Like you think there would be. Like Josh is a fairly common name.
You need to put up a YouTube video, a how-to video, how to legally change your name to Josh. And go through the process of legally changing your name.
Gorgeous would probably do that.
Oh, but yeah, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday. We were being like 100% serious about people coming on to our show and having guests on like that.
Yeah. J-Dub Killing Kicks, my boy from South Carolina, says, live sure didn't hurt the growth of Lonnie, Justin, and John's channels. When they had the show, they were growing fast. Yeah, because it was just like the Joshua Reselling show. It's 1 live per week on each channel. I'm fine with doing 1-2 lives a week. But Suburban Beard had this live. He had the Bad Boys of Reselling live. He had the live with Dana Bloom on Mondays or something. He had like 6 lives a week. So I think that's what got him looking at his analytics. I think you can do 2 lives a week on your channel, and it's fine as long as you're doing more edited videos a week than you are lives, you should be fine. I think.
Yeah.
But so I'm not comfortable doing more than 2. And with Reseller Review and this show, it just wouldn't be. Some weeks I'd have to do more than 2, and I just don't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, and Lonnie, Justin, and John, they're doing a lot of work outside of those live streams. Like they were doing like daily uploads, which is like putting, like, as a content creator myself, I know daily uploads. Like, I don't think I could personally do daily uploads. That is a lot of work and a lot of stress sometimes. Like, I mean, they probably had days where it almost felt like a burden to get a video up, but they almost, I think it was like a New Year's resolution for Lonnie to have that daily upload thing. And I was like pretty impressed that he was able to stick to that. But they were doing that, and I think the daily uploads really helped their channel. And another thing with those three, I feel like those three are just like really good people. So when people do find their channels, like they stick to their personality, they stick to their channel, and they keep coming back.
Zahir says, I might have to change my name and send in an application. Zahir, you are on my hot list. Once we start bringing in guests on the show, I would love to have you on.
Core Josh.
Core Josh.
I guess it's close enough. Gorgeous, Josh. I like the format that Reselling Addicts and Victoria have come up for listing hangouts. Yeah, Reselling Addicts and Victoria, they've been doing really good stuff on their channel. They've been doing, I started watching, they had like a weekly Thursday night show, which is kind of similar to our morning show. And they have been doing like the List It or Zip It series, where I think that's more of like a working hangout.
Work. I think we're caught up in the chat. We still got like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes left. So if you guys have any closing thoughts or final questions or anything like that, drop them in the chat. We'll try to hit them before we get out of here today. I've got a few things to pack today, and then all of the Goodwills in my area are having a half off the entire store sale today. So I'm gonna go to Goodwill immediately. So it should be a pretty fun day for me. And then I will drop another video today. Opening up all my postcards that you guys sent, put them all on my board. So we got that in a video. And I also went to the bins and had a pretty good haul yesterday. I found a genuine Dooney and Burke like black hobo bag. It's already been authenticated. If you guys ever find like fashion like bags and stuff that needs to be authenticated, there's a girl on Instagram called, her name is For the Love of Luxury. I don't know her actual name. I probably should know that, but follow her. She's super helpful, and she is really good at authenticating stuff.
Zahir asks, have you guys thought about making some YouTube-centric content? You both seem to have a good understanding of what goes on under the hood, as it were.
I've made one video about like how to put the little that little HT, the Harry Tornado thing in the bottom corner that says subscribe. I made one video about like how to put that on your videos, because I thought, I mean, that's super helpful. Like, and no other reseller I saw at the time was doing it. So I'm like, oh, I'll make this video for resellers, and you know, maybe it'll help. And it's like my worst performing video of all time. So I'll talk about YouTube stuff and live streams and stuff like that, but I don't think I'll make YouTube videos. I just think the majority of my audience comes to my channel for reselling content. A lot of them are YouTubers. So I feel like some of them could appreciate it, but I think it would underperform pretty significantly.
Yeah. I'm going to keep promoting Zahir. If you're not subscribed to his channel, go subscribe to him. And today at 4 p.m. Eastern, he's having Hard Pickers on, Ronnie, which is, he's like an OG. He was like one of the first reselling channels that I found when I found this whole YouTube reselling community. He's like an OG YouTube reseller. And he kind of took a break, and I think he's like making a comeback. So I'm super excited for that interview on Zahir's channel. So 4 p.m. Eastern on Zahir's channel. Don't miss it.
Emily Conway says, just speaking truth, us Americans love accents. Monetize that, bro. Yeah, Zahir, if I pay you like 10 euros, can you record my outgoing voicemail message for me?
Oh, man. Yeah, Zahir just needs to make us like an epic intro, like some kind of like monologue to start off our videos.
Exactly.
That's the secret to YouTube. Have Zahir's voice pop into your audio.
Zahir, I don't know what PMSL stands for, but he said deal. So
PMSL, Josh. Actually, I have no idea what that means either.
Dumpster Diver Dad is at 93 subs. Can we get him to 100? We've got 30 seconds left before we hit an hour. Can we get Dumpster Diver Dad to 100 subs?
Yeah.
Before, let me make sure I'm subscribed. I'm pretty sure I am.
I don't think I'm subscribed either. Let me go. We've been talking. We're terrible.
We are terrible. You know, it's funny. I wasn't subscribed to Suburban Beard's channel until last week.
Yeah.
I sent him a screenshot. I was like, dude, I never subscribed to you. Yeah, I am subscribed to Dumpster Diver Dad. He's at 93 subs. Let's refresh.
I just subscribed. He's at 99 now. I just subscribed.
100. Woo! We did it. You guys are awesome. That was fast. Reseller King, $2 super chats. Family Flips is good to learn about bulk buys. I've seen their channel a lot, but I haven't watched any of their videos. I might need to check those out. Zahir says it means pee myself laughing. PML, I guess.
PML. Oh, PMSL. P myself. Wait, I have never seen that before.
Probably a British thing. Where is he from?
England? Yeah,
the UK. UK? Just the UK in general.
Yeah, I think he's. I'm not going to pretend to understand the geography of the UK, but I think he used to live in the south and he moved to the north, whatever that means.
DC Picker says, that's great, but can we get DC Picker to 10,000 subs?
Oh, let's do it.
I think he's at like 300 or something.
Yeah.
That's a tall order.
Oh my God. People are going to start using PMSL.
Totally PMSing.
PMSL. I'm PMS.
You gotta add the L. Dana says, never seen that saying, but I've done it before. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go get my stuff packed. I got like 10 things going out today. It was a good sale day yesterday. I sold a Disney turtle thing for $100. That's pretty cool. Get this stuff packed out. I'm going to head to Goodwill, and then I'll put my video up. I don't know, this afternoon sometime. I'll probably do a premiere for this one because I think it'll be cool to watch live with you guys. So let's shoot for like, I don't know. You'll see the notification. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Josh, any closing comments?
I have a live stream tomorrow. I'm starting it's kind of like an interview series. If you guys don't know who Ready Set Resell is, I'm having him on my channel tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So excited to, if you don't know who he is, I'm excited to introduce him to you guys.
Awesome. Cool deal. I will be there probably, unless I forget. Just text me. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you everyone on the next one.
Peace.